Big thanks to Hiya Toys for sending this Godzilla out. Check Hiya out, and links to buy in the description.
Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, Collector Steven here, and we come back to Godzilla vs. Kong. I have a feeling that movie will never, ever leave the kaiju fandom, but nevertheless, we get a whole bunch of cool merch from it, including Hiya Toys' first kaiju action figure, depending on your definition of kaiju. We have Godzilla 2021, or Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. Neat. It's going to be an exquisite basic figure, and by no means does that mean that this figure is basic. A lot of fans have been looking forward to this, and directly MSRP is going to be about $40 or so, depending on the retailer you pick it up from. However, price may vary. That being said, though, Hiya typically goes in the smaller range of action figures, but as you will see here, that does not mean that they are going to continue the smaller size for their big, mean, titan fighting organic machines. Godzilla's big, that's what I'm trying to say. So this is yet another MonsterVerse Godzilla product. So let's take a look to see whether or not Hiya entering late into the game is going to be worth adding into your collection. Spoilers, yes, but let's see. You know, it's kind of funny, just as an aside, because first we have one company making a MonsterVerse Godzilla product, and everyone flocks to that, saying that that is going to be the most accurate. Then we have another company making it, everyone saying that that is the most accurate. And then we have people arguing over that. And then we have another company that does a completely different method of getting the sculpt down for the figure, and then everyone says that that's going to be the most accurate. That's not what we're here for. We're here to answer the question whether or not it looks good here. Does the sculpt look nice? Is the paint application well? And I do have to say, overall, Hiya did a very rock-solid job here. I will say, in terms of accuracy, though, Godzilla does look rather solid. So if you are looking for a nice, accurate source material Godzilla from the latter two MonsterVerse movies, then this is going to be a good pickup. Whether it's going to be from King of the Monsters or vs. Kong, good choice. Now, that being said, for paint application, at first glance, you're thinking, well, there's not a whole lot going on here. We've actually kind of seen the same beats from other companies before. However, here for the exquisite basic Godzilla, there's going to be quite a few different hidden details that most fans may pick up on only once they have it in hand. Yes, obviously, the eyes are going to be a bit more muted in terms of design because they're not really flashy. There's not a lot of white there. So the cleanness, if you will, doesn't really matter because you can see the eyes there look good. Teeth, those are going to be just fine. And throughout the body of Godzilla, we are going to have that gray with some blue undertones hidden there and here and everywhere else, but we're also going to have an expertly applied brown wash throughout the figure in the crevices of the scutes and the scales and the keloid scarring that are really going to help bring out those finer details and help Godzilla's skin look magnificent. I wonder if he exfoliates. The only legitimate issue that I'm going to have with this particular unit is I didn't actually even catch this until I was checking out other pictures. On the neck, it looks like there's going to be a little slice missing, just a small one, very, very minor. If you didn't see it, then I mean, it is what it is. You didn't see it so far. Overall, this figure does look rather great, and now we're going to lead on into the articulation section, which would just be about evenly matched. Articulation. This is what everyone's come to see because, well, we got a little bit to talk about here. Oh. All right, so the jaw is clearly going to be on a hinge. It is going to open and close, as you can see here, just like that. See? Opens rather wide. The tongue is going to be on a hinge as well. It's actually difficult for me to push it down. I have to put it down with a little bit of force. It feels like it's going to show some resistance. But when you close the mouth and then open it again, the tongue goes back to a neutral position on mine. But I can actually push it up real easy. So it is what it is. Okay. The neck. There's something going on here that not a lot of folks were able to figure out. In the early pictures that we saw of this figure, even some of the ones we are recently seeing, here's the reason why. Maybe. Head here is going to attach into the neck joint system on a ball joint. Pretty good range of movement. And as a matter of fact, I believe there's going to be another ball joint all the way at the bottom. So Godzilla can look down about that far, and this allows him to look left and right a bit more than we've seen from some other companies. Oh, we see a little bit of a gap there. Don't worry, meme's coming in a second. But here's going to be the issue with this figure, right? Okay, so a lot of people have been posing Godzilla looking up just to kind of get the look like on the box, right? And they get that. That is very unsightly. Ready? That, however, it could be better. Oh. Yeah. So what's going on there? You push it down a little bit, you get that, you just push it back. There's a hinge in the neck. That's what these sleeves are hiding. There's a hinge in there. These kind of float freely to help you reposition the neck to hide those gaps. And so when you just have, that looks terrible. But when you utilize the hinge and you push Godzilla's head back, which aligns it up with the sculpt pieces there, Godzilla looks fine. No real issues. So, good job, Hiya. That's not really been seen before, but yes, Godzilla can look around in all sorts of different directions. Now, some folks have criticized these floating neck pieces. However, what's cool about them is they kind of fit into place and they are able to be moved. They are rather loose, but that is so this way you can hide gaps with the neck, and you can get Godzilla to look rather natural in most positions. Some have said that, oh, well, it leaves the other side looking not good. Here looks fine, all the way up until you see that. That's a non-issue. Shoulders, ball joints, very, very nice. They move rather well. We do have single hinge elbows, however. Now, I say however because we are able to get the straight bend, 90 degrees, not exactly, but they do feature the swivel there. Hands, the wrists, they're going to be on ball joints with rather limited range of movement. We can obviously spin them around all the way, but in terms of moving them up and down, in and out, just a little bit of tilts here and there. For the torso, what do we have? We have one ball joint, which is going to allow movement. You can see I'm forcing this thing forward about that far, back and up about that far, and if you really want to, you can spin Godzilla all the way around. So pretty solid range of movement there. If we could get better movement forward and back, that would be nice to see. For the hips, ball joints, very good. Knees. So I was actually able to pop this one off. As you can see, it's going to be a ball joint inserted into the thigh area. Then there's going to be a hinge system for those joints, and then a ball joint where it plugs into the lower portion of the leg as well. Ball jointed ankles, very solid. Tail, multiple ball joints. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this last portion is sculpt. Okay, so unfortunately I did pop one off. I was rather forceful with it. So, I mean, you want to put it to the test? So we know one section which popped off for me. All right, so that's what we're looking at. So you saw about how much force you have to put in and what the range is before we really get it to pop off. So you can get joints to pop off if you're really pushing it. The tail is rather sturdy, so he can kind of almost touch the tail to the body in terms of getting the tail rather straight. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Curling the tail up, but a neutral tail position, sort of curling it up and around, is just fine. So for the articulation for the Hiya Godzilla here, they are rather, I guess, starting off with a solidly articulated Godzilla, and you can put him into some rather neat poses. You're not really destroying the sculpt in any way that would make some folks upset. I mean, that's pretty goofy on one foot, admittedly, getting some assistance from the tail. So if you do like to have your Godzilla well articulated, even if it's not exactly contrapposto, yeah, I'd say this is pretty solid. It gets a thumbs up from me. Size comparison time, and here's what I'm going to say. Big boy. Like I said, 7 inches. Keep that in mind, 7 inches. Hiya did a really nice job delivering a rather large Godzilla figure in the market today for you to purchase. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Hold on one second. I need to clear my throat. juxtaposition. All right, so anyway, I have a few thoughts here for this particular product that I really want to get out there, so this way everyone knows where I, as a reviewer, as a collector, stand, and so forth. First and foremost, when this was announced, my hype, my interest in purchasing, as I sort of said at the top, I think I represent a solid amount of collectors who've been collecting for a bit amount of time in the kaiju community. This is going to be yet another MonsterVerse Godzilla in the myriad that we already have, and Hiya did enter into the game a little bit late. But that being said, now that this is in my hands, which I did not have the intent to purchase this, here's what I can say. This is an amazing piece that you can purchase, and quite frankly, this is going to be one of the top runners for one of the best MonsterVerse sculpts that's going to be affordable, and it is going to be available on the market. So if you're looking for a good MonsterVerse Godzilla action figure, congratulations. This is going to be pretty much one of, if not the top contender. But keeping in mind, there are approximately 8 others on the market to begin with. Your miles may vary for which paint variation you may have. Now, if you're thinking, well, Steven, should I still get this? Again, let me clear my throat. Juxtaposition. Anyway, there are going to be other larger scale kaiju figures on the market, and this fills that niche which should have been filled many years ago. Hopefully you are picking up what I'm laying down by not only what I'm saying, but what is also on your screen. Look, when it all is said and done, at MSRP, I should say, $40, and this is good. No real issues, any gaps can be fixed. Pick it up today. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.